Hey Internet, Eric here. Tonight we're finally going back into Stephen King territory with my movie thoughts, and we're finally not talking about something Pet Sematary related. If you know me and you followed anything I've talked about in like vlogs or just random videos, you know I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 videos ago. I mentioned how I was doing what I call a Stephen King challenge, where I'm reading all of his books in order of publication. I have all of his books. I made it up to I finally finished The Stand. So eventually I will get to reread one of my favorite Stephen King books. And it was turned into a movie by John Carpenter, Christine. And the glare sucks, but you can see it's Christine. And this came out in '83. Like I said, directed by John Carpenter. So it was neat having Stephen King, master of horror, literary field, team up with John Carpenter, master of horror in the film industry. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do discuss plot spoilers and specific scenes, but that's just how I discuss film. So, like I always say, watch my videos at your own risk. If for some reason you've lived under a hole and you don't know the plot of Christine, and then you start, whenever I discuss Stephen King film adaptations, there's always liberties taken. So I'm always going to discuss the film, not the book. Now, we are following Arnie Cunningham, played by Keith Gordon, and his buddy Dennis, played by John Stockwell. Yep. And Arnie is a stereotypical nerd, late 70s, thick, Buddy Holly glasses, always picked on. And Dennis is always sticking up for him. They've been best friends for fucking ever. And as they're driving home on another bad day at school, they see this 1957 Plymouth Fury. And it looks like crap, like rust and shit, and it looks horrible. And Arnie falls in love with it. I mean, he wants to buy it, fix it up, make it look beautiful, gives him something to do in life. And you eventually find out that the car is possessed, and it starts to change Arnie from this, pathetic nerd into this strong, yet seemingly hateful person. And eventually, all the people that have picked on Arnie are taken out. So it's up to Dennis and Arnie's girlfriend Leigh, played by Alexandra Paul from Baywatch. This was pre-Baywatch because she had her shoulder-length hair. She didn't have her, short cut. I don't want to say manly. She didn't look manly in Baywatch, but she looked more feminine here. We'll just say that. And they team up to try to rescue Arnie from the clutches of Christine. All right. First off, Christine is one of... I said I wasn't going to discuss the books because this is about the movie, but I will say that Christine is probably my second favorite Stephen King novel after Pet Sematary. And so I was very excited to watch this for the first time, and I've seen this many times. So we'll get to it. First, I love the performances of what is his name? Keith Gordon, right? Keith Gordon as Arnie. I love him starting out as this picked on kid. Like I said, he's got the Buddy Holly glasses. He's always picked on by Buddy Repperton, who is basically like John Travolta light. He looks just like fucking John Travolta from the 70s. He's always picked on by Buddy Repperton and his gang. And his mother is always on his ass about shit. His dad doesn't help. He just lets mom treat him like crap. His only friend is Dennis, played by John Stockwell. And I love, he's very good at making Arnie sympathetic. There's scenes where he's talking to Dennis, and, Dennis is trying to say, hey, Arnie, it's senior year. We should probably try to get you laid. And Arnie's like, I'm too ugly. I know what I am. There's no way. No girls, will be interested in me. And you believe that. You get sympathy for him. And then when he starts to soup up Christine, you realize that Christine is alive. And he's changing his look. He gets rid of the Buddy Holly glasses. He starts dressing more cool, leather jacket, jeans and stuff like that. He walks around with confidence, and you believe that. You believe that he's confident in himself. And then for a third change, when he's being psychotic and scary, there's a scene where Christine has finally taken hold of him. I think it's New Year's Eve, and he's driving Christine, and Dennis is sitting in the passenger seats with him, and he's got the dark circle under his eyes, and John Carpenter is real great with light in here. He makes Arnie scary. And he's just driving around, drinking beer, Dennis in tow, just talking, like saying death to all the shitters of the world, and stuff like that. And he's really good at being scary. There's a scene where, he sees Christine trashed. Buddy Repperton's gang has like literally trashed her, like destroyed her. And he's walking in the garage with Leigh, Alexandra Paul, and he goes from upset. You just see his face. You don't see what Christine looks like yet. You're seeing the camera of just Leigh and Arnie, and you see the pain in his face and the anguish. And then he's holding Leigh's hand, and suddenly she says, "Ow!" And because he's hurting it so bad. And then suddenly she tries to comfort him, and he turns back. He turns around, and he pushes her, and he just goes ape shit on her. Very scary, for this type of film, this type of character, especially seeing where he was in the beginning. John Stockwell, he's great as Arnie's protector. He's always looking out for Arnie. Like I said, Buddy Repperton's, terrorizing him in shop class, and Dennis is there to take care of him. And you believe that they have a great rapport with each other. I love the scene where Arnie can't get his fucking locker open, and Dennis is there just to help him. It just shows how wimpy Arnie is, how nothing goes right for Arnie, and Dennis is there to save them. So in the end, it makes sense, when it's, again, Dennis trying to save Arnie. So he's great at being the best friend. He's really good when he's worried about Arnie. I like that. John Stockwell, who's now a director. The last movie I saw was the new Kickboxer film that he directed. But he's really good. He's very likable. He's very charming. Yeah. Last person I want to... Let's talk about Alexandra Paul, though, as Leigh. She looks pretty. I don't like her performance at all. She's too breathy. She's not very emotional, and when she's trying to be scared and emotional, I just don't buy it. I would have liked to see Kelly Preston, who plays a possible love interest to Dennis. She plays either Roseanne or Roxanne. I don't remember. But I would have liked a role reversal, because I know Kelly Preston can act. And so that would have been great to see that. But Alexandra Paul, you look pretty, but you're not very good in this film. There aren't very many scenes where you actually have to rely on her acting. It's mainly she's there to be with Arnie, to make out with him, to be scared. But when she's given dialogue, her delivery is not very good. I like the bullies. Like I said, whoever plays Buddy Repperton, John Travolta light, really good at being that asshole, scary, not scary like, scary, but like if you're in high school, this is the guy that you wouldn't want to hate you, because he would make your life miserable, and you believe it. And his little, triad of followers. Robert Prosky as Darnell, the asshole garage owner. Such a fucking dick. And he's great at doing that. It's a great performance. You really hate this man. And you know where this is going. It's a Stephen King film. No one really survives. When it comes to side characters, when Robert Prosky finally gets it, it's a yes moment. You love it. And you're like, about fucking time. I hated that dude. And one last performance I want to talk about is Roberts Blossom. And Roberts Blossom plays George LeBay or Roland LeBay. I don't remember, because there's two LeBay characters in the book. I don't remember who he plays here. But he plays Mr. LeBay, we'll just say that, who sells Christine to Arnie. And you can tell he's just kind of trying to shiest Arnie out of some money. I think, again, Dennis is there to try to talk him out of it, to be his protector. And you just think he's just this old man trying to get rid of this old car. But then when it's Dennis and LeBay talking, he gets real creepy and scary, and he gives Christine's history. Really creepy performance. I really like it. And it's really weird how Robert Blossom is in Home Alone 1, and Robert Prosky is in Home Alone 2, and they're both in a Stephen King film. Go fucking figure. Anyway, so really good performances. Soundtrack is really great. It's John Carpenter. John Carpenter knows how to build tension with his soundtrack. Like with the score. When Christine is chasing down these thugs, you get, first you have the headlights go on. And you get that noise, which is right out of Halloween 3, which I think he did the score for. And then, just the intimidating chase music. Really good. Really builds the tension. It's great. Especially with the visuals. Like I said, you see the headlights chasing people. Christine catches fire. And it's just this incredible visual of this giant Plymouth on fire at nighttime chasing somebody to this fantastic score. Love it. Fantastic. Other soundtrack songs include George Thorogood's Bad to the Bone. So if you don't think of Terminator 2, you're going to think of Christine when you hear that song. And then you got Little Richard thrown in and Buddy Holly. Special effects are really good. Christine has the power to regenerate herself. When she's destroyed, by Buddy Repperton and everybody. Which is a brutal scene. It's like you feel her pain. Arnie can see that she can, like I said, she can reform and be back in a pristine condition, which is another fantastic scene with the score. But just the way, however Carpenter did it, you see the twisted parts of the car just mold back slowly, practical effects into how they're supposed to be. Such a fantastic effect. I absolutely love it. Very nice ending. Is she dead? Is she not dead when it comes to Christine? I love that whole last 20 minutes where they're in Darnell's garage. It's Dennis and Leigh trying to destroy Christine. And Arnie's there. It's very intense. Like I said, again, it's great action scenes cut up by John Carpenter, and he's got that great score. You kind of have the feeling when this movie starts that Christina's alive, because when she comes right off the assembly line, a man's hand gets stuck under her hood, and another guy dies, in her just in the front seat. But the way this is shot is for the first few times, before it's revealed that she's really doing it herself, the way Carpenter shoots it, you don't know if Arnie's really driving this or not, because you never see past the windshield. It's always dark. So when Christina's chasing Moochie, in a fantastic scene where she's chasing Moochie down the streets, Moochie runs to an alley and it's a dead end, and then he pulls out a knife. He's like, "You can't get me, can you, motherfucker?" Because she can't fit down that alleyway. And it doesn't matter. Christine just plows down that fucking alleyway, tires spinning, smoke, and she crunches herself into that alleyway to crush him. Intense scene, but when that happens, and then when Christine is chasing Buddy and the rest of the group, you don't know if Arnie's really driving or not. Because Arnie's being questioned throughout this film by a police detective played by Harry Dean Stanton. And Arnie, he acts like he doesn't give a shit when, these bullies have been killed. So that makes you wonder, is Arnie doing it or not? One of my favorite lines, after, Buddy Repperton and his gang destroyed Christine, one of them took a shit on the dashboard. Okay, so now Harry Dean Stanton is questioning Arnie. Christine looks all better. And he's like, "Wow, you did a good job fixing this up. I heard she was really trashed, and I heard one person defecated on the dashboard." And then, this was after Moochie was killed. And Arnie looks right at the detective. He says, "Well, shit wipes off." He didn't give a shit. And pun intended, he didn't give it. He didn't care at all. It was So what? Moochie's dead. Big fucking deal. And then Harry Dean Stanton's like, yeah, someone kind of wiped off Moochie Waltz, didn't they? And then he says, well, that's what you do with shit, isn't it? So, you know Arnie doesn't care, but you're still wondering, was he behind the wheel? So that's some great editing from John Carpenter. You know, it makes you wonder, was Arnie really doing this until, you know, you already know Christine's alive, but still. So yeah, great performances, great score, good soundtrack, good oldies soundtrack, or at least oldies for me. Great special effects, great tension, great performances other than Alexandra Paul. This was John Carpenter. What I read is Carpenter actually didn't want to do this film, but he did it because The Thing bombed at the box office. So I'm glad that he did it. One of my favorite scenes is, I won't spoil what happens, but Alexandra Paul starts choking on her food at a drive-in. And again, that's really great at seeing how psychotic Arnie has gotten, especially the scene when he talks to his parents after, you know, he's finally done his transformation and he's no longer taking shit to his parents. What he does to his father is very scary. I mean, he doesn't kill the man, but it's very scary knowing that this was Arnie a while ago, who his parents wouldn't even let him park Christine in the fucking, you know, driveway, and now he's in control. So, again, very good performance by Keith Gordon. If you don't know who Keith Gordon is, he was in Back to School. He played Roddy Dangerfield's son. But anyways, great film. Loose adaptation in some scenes, but like I said, I'm not going to get into that. Great film, great everything other than Alexandra Paul. Highly recommend Christine, 1983. Really enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. And then comment below. Tell me what you think. Yeah. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Click that bell so that way you'll know that I put up a new video. Share, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the hobo trying to sell the car down the street to watch my stuff. Any requests, I do them. Coming up, I still have to do Is It Worth the Hate from, you know, about, what is it? Cutthroat Island. I'm going to do Is It Worth the Hate on the Dark Tower film. And I've got requests for the Alien films and Evil Dead. Yeah, this and that. Cartoon commentaries will be coming back soon. Enough of that spiel. Cheers and death to all the shitters of the world.